but this has been simmering all day and now it's erupted. Police are arresting demonstrators. Some seem to be injured, others choking back tear gas. This is chaos. Sunday night in Hong Kong. The question is, when will all of this end?
I tell you what, let's try and go inside the Legco building. This is the place that was under siege all day. The scenes speak for themselves, really. There's an eerie silence now. You can see the complete mess. There are these barriers which were used to ultimately get through the glass. Also, umbrellas were used to shield protesters from the pepper spray that the police had deployed, but also they used it as a way of hiding their identities. They were worried about the repercussions of coming in here. But no one knows where we go from here. What we can say, Clive, is we're now witnessing an almighty struggle for the heart and soul of this city.
OK, Nick, thank you for that. Nick Beat there, live in Hong Kong.
Genocide is what many believe these young survivors witnessed. They may be fed by aid agencies, but they're not safe.
There are nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees still trapped in the camps here in Bangladesh. Half of them are children, and there's little sign of them being able to return home to Myanmar anytime soon. And so this sprawling city of despair is where a whole generation is being forced to grow up. And all around, there's danger, the weather, disease, and exploitation.
Vice Senior General So Win tells the troops they will crush any insurgents in troubled Rakhine State, but do so in a lawful way. That doesn't seem to have been a concern before.
Many across the world believe Myanmar's top generals should not be standing here putting on this sort of show, but standing in the dock of the International Criminal Court, answering the charge of genocide.
Let's talk to our Europe correspondent Nick Beak in Brussels. Nick, what's the latest stage of this row?
Well, Hugh, the EU certainly thinks it's in a very strong legal position and is asking AstraZeneca to publish the contract that was agreed. But really, this row has escalated very publicly today. At its heart, the EU believes that AstraZeneca is favouring the UK over European countries. Well, this is what happens every sort of hour or so. A massive media scrum. Someone comes along of interest and the reporters, the cameras, swoop on them, desperate for any sort of clip or quote. Well, we're just getting this amazing news through that all 12 boys and their coach have been brought to safety. They're now being treated, and for all the cameras here, the reporters, this is the ending to this remarkable story that everyone wanted to tell. The Christians of Colombo should have been celebrating rebirth this Easter. But it's death on an horrific scale which has confronted them. This was one of 3 churches bombed. Shouts and screams rang out where there'd been singing and prayers. The scale of these attacks and the planning that went into them have stunned Sri Lanka. But already the Prime Minister has admitted that intelligence was received more than 10 days ago about possible attacks on churches. So already some people are asking, could these bombers have been stopped? What would be your message today to those who say this was an intelligence failing and innocent Sri Lankans have died in their hundreds?
Yeah, also this is not the first time a bomb went off in this country. There are several. Why try to isolate this particular incident?
Should Sri Lankans have faith in the intelligence services here and the politicians to protect them in the future?
I refuse to comment on that. I refuse to comment. All right?
France is once again in lockdown and yet again in grief. This is the 3rd terror attack in barely a month. The country is fighting an invisible virus, and today the government said it's at war against another enemy, Islamist ideology.
What we wait to see, Nick, is really the devil in the detail, how much detail there really is.
Absolutely, Jane. It's midnight here in Singapore, the end of a day of extraordinary political theatre. Amazing when you think about the insults these world leaders were hurling at each other just a year ago, but now we see the fire and fury replaced by handshakes and smiles. These deaths have clearly had a big impact on the people living in this community that's built up here. People living in such desperate conditions.
The question is, will they now be put off from attempting the perilous journey to the United Kingdom?
Let's go live to Parlour tonight and talk to our correspondent Nick Beak, who's there for us. Nick, let's have your latest assessment of this aid effort and how much difficulty they're having getting the aid through.
Well, Hugh, you do get a sense that a more coherent plan is now coming together after a fairly slow start. Inevitable, you may say, bearing in mind the remote geography of this place. It takes 24 hours by car from the south part of the island to reach the tip where we are in the north. But on the journey, we did see some convoys of aid. That will be a promising sight for many people.
Rizki survived with a broken arm and is now reunited with his family. He still hopes to achieve his dream of becoming a footballer, joining his heroes at his favourite team.
Who's your favourite Manchester City player?
Yeah. Mahrez.
Algerian international Riyad Mahrez became Manchester City's record signing when they bought him for £60 million this summer.
We thought Manchester City may want to know about their young fans' amazing story of survival thousands of miles away. So we got in touch, and it turns out Riyad Mahrez wants to send a personal message. Now Rizki doesn't know anything about this. Hi Rizki. Somebody wants to say hello to you.
Hi Rizki, how are you? I hope you're getting better. I heard that you was a big City fan, so I just want to wish you a good recovery. I hope you get better, and we'll give you the best wishes from Man City.
So what does he make of it? It's great. I'm so happy.